Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy here, and welcome to another episode of ETCG1. At the beginning of our ETCG1 episodes, we like to wish our viewers a happy birthday. So if it's your birthday, happy birthday. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about working in extreme temperatures. The other day I was welding up the frame connectors, or finishing up welding up the frame connectors on my Ford Fairmont, and it was a particularly hot day. And of course I had to put on my long sleeve welding shirt to avoid getting hot slag dumped on me, and it made it, well, a little bit worse. Not everyone has the privilege of working in an air-conditioned shop, and I certainly don't have that privilege here, and honestly I don't mind all that much. But I just wanted to share some of my experiences and my tips as far as working in extreme temperatures. As far as when it's really hot outside, one of my biggest tips that I can give you is stay hydrated. And I'm not saying soft drinks. Don't drink soft drinks. Drink as much water as you possibly can. And I'll share a little something with you. It was, I don't know, some time back. I was working in the shop, and it was one of those extremely hot days, and it was very sweaty, and I was just doing one car after another, trying to bust them out. You know, flat rate, it's the way. Anyway, I neglected to stay hydrated. So I went to go pee-pee, and it burned like really bad. It hurt. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking the same thing that my doctor thought when I went to my doctor and said, hey, something's not right here. It burns when I pee. They're like, well, first thing we're going to test you for is gonorrhea. And I got to tell you, if you're a dude, or anybody, but if you're a guy and the doctor says they're going to test you for gonorrhea, it's not going to be pleasant. Basically what they do is they take a long metal Q-tip and stick it down your pee hole. Yes, I can see you cringing right now, and I gotta say, that is not a pleasant experience at all. I came up negative. I knew I would. So I asked what another possible explanation could be for this problem that I had, and they said, well, do you think you might have been dehydrated? And bing, the light went off in my head. Yeah, of course I was dehydrated. I was working all day and sweating and sweating and sweating. And as a result, that's what happened. So just a little FYI, you know, and that thought came to me as I was working the other day in the shop. Now, extreme cold, something I've also worked in. In fact, if not for Mr. Heater last year, I don't know if I'd come back to this shop during the winter. Yes, I know I have this giant gas heater up here, but if you watch the Mr. Heater video, you'll see that just to have that giant, just the privilege of being able to turn that thing on was going to cost me like 45 bucks a month. Mr. Heater, I put whatever kerosene it burns in it, and that's that. And I'm fine. Mr. Heater has definitely made life better. But my tip for working in extreme cold temperatures is layers. The more layers you have, the better. And if you're a technician working in a shop, or just working on cars in general, and you have to get under a vehicle, I strongly recommend something with a hood. Why? All that junk that ends up in the wheel wells and gets stuck to the bottom of the vehicle, well, you bring it into a shop and it's warmer in the shop than it is outside, and that stuff starts to melt. So you basically got cold rain coming down all the time. Sometimes chunks of yucky road-infused goopy ice comes dropping down from underneath the car. And for whatever reason, it's got really good aim and likes to go right down the back of your shirt. And once again, not a pleasant feeling. Hence the reason why you see me during the wintertime wear those hoods. So I'll wear hoodies, and I'll just stick that thing up over my head while I'm under the vehicle, and I don't have to worry about stuff dripping down the back of my neck, which, as I said, is a very unpleasant experience. As far as hydration, I don't think that's as critical, but try to stay warm, particularly with your hands. Your hands can suffer in those colder temperatures, and wearing those rubber gloves like I do really helps. It helps keeping the heat and all that. Not so much in the summertime, because you take them off and you basically got a puddle of sweat that comes out. In fact, my fingers would tend to prune up from all the sweat that got inside my gloves after working for a while. It's one of the reasons why I got in the habit of not changing them. Once again, working flat rate, I needed to move from one car to the next, and if I took my gloves off and my hands were still all sweaty, I had to wait for them to dry before I put on another pair of gloves, because they were really hard to put on. So those of you that are yelling at me when I haven't taken my gloves off and I'm going from one vehicle to the next, that's why. It's a habit that I got into, because it costs time, and time is money. So those are my tips for working in extreme temperatures, and I just wanted to share them with you today. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. You can use the comments, or there'll be a link in the description to discussion about this over at ericthecarguide.com. Speaking of ericthecarguide.com, if you have automotive questions, I would ask that you head over there and use the resources at ericthecarguide.com to help you. There's a welcome video to let you in on what we have over there. If you wish to connect with me socially, I can be found on Google+, Facebook, Twitter, and also Instagram. And I want to thank you for watching. Before I say, be safe, have fun, and stay dirty. I'll see you next time.